Hello and welcome to this AQA GCSE drama revision video. Today we're looking at section B of the GCSE drama exam, and that is the study of set text. At the beginning of section B you will find a printed extract, and you will be expected to read this extract before you attempt to answer any of the questions in section B. This extract here is taken from Act 1 of the Crucible, and it is the exchange between Abigail and Proctor when Abigail is trying to seduce John and to encourage him to get back with her. So if you'd like to take a moment now, feel free to read this and we will then move on. So in this video we're focusing on the 4-mark question. You are designing a costume for Proctor to wear in a performance of this extract. The costume must reflect the context of the Crucible, set in a Puritan community in the late 17th century. Describe your design ideas for the costume. And this is a 4-mark question. In order to consider your costume design for Proctor, it's useful to think about some ideas of what you would dress any male character in the Crucible in, and thinking about what Puritan men might wear. So you might have him in a loose-fitting shirt. Maybe he will wear a pilgrim hat, which is one of those black felt hats that are quite high. Maybe he's wearing breeches, which are kind of a type of sort of 3/4 length trousers, which are quite tight. Maybe he's got a jerkin, which is a sleeveless jacket that he would wear under a coat. Then a coat or a cape. Stockings or garters. Thinking about leather boots and shoes. Again, a belt and buttons, so thinking about the accessories that John might wear. And also a collar, where a lot of Puritan men would wear collars over the rest of their clothes. So we've thought about the specific clothes of Proctor's costume design. It's now good to consider things in a little more detail. Proctor is a fairly wealthy farmer and a figure of the community, so his clothes may reflect his social status and position. So it's good to get thinking about how you might demonstrate the fact that Proctor is a little bit wealthier than some of the other characters through his costume design. Think about the condition of Proctor's costume. Proctor's a farmer, and his clothes will probably show some signs of wear and tear. Maybe there are rips in his costume, maybe parts of his costume are covered in mud, maybe bits have been stitched up or patched up possibly, so think about that. The actor might wear makeup to suggest mud or dust from working on the farm, so thinking about makeup on the face or on the hands possibly. We need to consider authentic fabrics, so in Puritan times you'd have cotton, linen, wool and leather, and not much else to be honest. Also thinking about authentic colours. It's likely that for a costume design that would reflect the context of the play, the historical context, that the colours would be earthy, muted tans, browns and greys with off-white caps and collars. Remember, you're not going to be able to get your washing perfectly white because we haven't got washing powder. The cut of Proctor's clothes would be simple, and think about how his clothes might fit as well. Again, you might want to think about the practicality of him having quite baggy clothes so he can work on the farm. So just consider these things in your response. As this is only a 4-mark question, you don't need to worry too much about the way that you structure your ideas, so long as you're putting all of your ideas down. I like to talk about the 5 C's, and these are just 5 ways that you can really think about making sure that you're providing a fair bit of detail. So make sure you refer to the context of the play. The key is in the question. It asks you to talk about how your costume ideas reflect the context of the play. So make sure that you refer to the fact that this is Salem, Massachusetts in 1692. Talk about the colour as well. Again, colour's a really easy one that you can refer to. It shows that you're just thinking about some of the detail in the costume. Also the conditions. You might want to think about where the scene is taking place and how this is affecting the condition of the costume. Also, what sort of character do we have? How does the condition of the costume tell us information about the character's job or the character's social position? Think about the climate in terms of where the scene is taking place or where the entire play is taking place. And also you want to think about the character. This is a really, really crucial one. how does the costume reflect the character? So I'm going to now use these for a bit of a response. Here is an example response. As the Crucible is set in Salem in 1692, John's costume would reflect the strict Puritan values of simplicity and modesty. I would dress John in simply cut fabrics such as cotton, wool, and linen that are dull, earthy tones such as browns and tans. Even though the Proctors are considered a wealthier family, I would want the costume to convey John as a hard-working farmer. I would want his costume to look well worn with a few holes in his black trousers and mud on his long brown leather boots. I would also use makeup to make him look muddy on his hands and face. As the play is set in Salem, I would put John in a long brown leather coat to protect him from the harsh weather conditions. His coat would also be muddy and torn at the shoulders. Finally, I would give John a long, loose-fitted linen shirt with the collar open, showing his chest. I would want to depict John as a physically attractive character who contrasts the more buttoned-up men of Salem. So as you can see, here we've got an example response. I've gone through and I've used the 5 C's just to help me think about some of the more detailed ideas that I want to convey. The idea of context first, speaking about the Puritans in 1692. Then I've looked at colour, I've looked at fabric there as well. I've then started to think about the condition of John's clothes. And I've gone on to think about climate and how he's going to wear a long brown coat to protect him from the bad weather. And finally, I've looked at character and how John's kind of got this open collar to make him an attractive man. So Abigail is likely to be attracted to him and the audience should be, attracted in a sense as well. So no specific way to do a response there, but the 5 C's might just help you to think about structuring some of your ideas. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you in some way and has given you a few ideas that you can include in your written exam. Good luck.